Hello to you all, and welcome to Pyramid Energy. If you're new to the channel, I'm so pleased you're here. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm speaking to somebody who is a conductor of energy. I had to look up a conductor of energy, okay? And it's important that you move going forward bearing this in mind, because it affects your energy levels and quality quite a lot. What I saw initially was someone reaching the last step of something, okay? It was giving 10 of Wands sort of energy. It's like you just got over the last step. You couldn't see that last step until you got there. A sense of fatigue. I could feel it in my legs. I could feel it in my thighs. But also that just relief that you've arrived, okay? And so in the time you're taking to settle, okay, you're receiving a lot of clarity around your own role in your life and certain actions that you actually have to take in order to create the correct conditions, okay, for your life, okay, to create a sense of cleanliness in your dealings. This is sounding like creating order in your life. But now I also feel like we're moving into, I was referring to a bit of a more admin related order, boundaries related order, very structural things, to allow for you to have peace of mind, to allow for you to remove certain thoughts, to allow for you to remove certain thoughts that circle in your mind regarding things that you haven't yet done and completed, okay, to make way. On the other end, this idea of realizing that you're a conductor of energy, I want to share the definition that I read here. It says, an energy conductor is a material that easily allows energy, like electricity or heat, to flow through it, thanks to its loosely bound, free-moving electrons or charged particles that transfer energy via a chain reaction, okay? So even though you're not made of metal or whatever it is, you're made of matter, and it's like your body, your energetic body allows for flow, okay? And I understand that in order to feel like you're remaining in flow, you need to maintain the sense of loosely bound sort of flesh to also feel at ease. You know what I mean? For your body to feel at ease, to be able to receive, because these are the same pathways that allow that sense of abundance into your life and heart openness, all of that. You need to feel at ease, shoulders relaxed, breath at ease. Okay, but what that also means is that you pick up on a lot of things, and not all of them are energies you intend to take on. With that said, I do feel it's important to point out that while you're a discerning person, when it comes to the energy you're picking up, you like to be open to the awareness of all the energy, right? And so you're not someone who has decided, do not let this type of energy in, do not let that type of energy in. Energy to you is information. What they are stressing here, okay, in prioritizing your flow, is that you need to know that you're a conductor of energy, meaning that you need to direct this energy. I'm laughing because I just learned this yesterday, okay? It's as if it was a remembering. Someone was teaching me how to conduct a specific type of energy through my body. However, as I was sitting for this video, this word energy conductor was coming up. Hence, I looked it up, and it's important to understand that this is actually how the energy gets trapped in your body. And you received a huge surge of energy recently, and that's what you're needing to learn to direct through and out. Okay, you either use it or let it pass through, but you can't let it sit. Something else that's coming up quite strongly, I was just starting to shuffle, I've got full moon cards here, is that you actually have control over your energy. This is what they're explaining, is the control. And this is not so much just around health reasons, energetic hygiene, controlling it within your body. This is around how your energy is shared physically. This is around you can keep your energy to yourself physically. Does that make sense? We often think of sharing energy as something that we do, when we're interacting with someone, and because you have an open heart, you're sharing your energy, you're engaging with the person. You can engage with a person without sharing your actual energy. What I mean by this is pulling from your energy capacity. This is not just around how when we talk to people and we're focused on them, and there's this idea that your energy is just rushing out of your body and leaving and going to them, because that happens. This is not just about that. This is about when you decide to be selective about who to share your energy with and who you are cutting off your energy. You have control over that. And so I'm understanding that there are people, places, and things in your life that you have moved around. We're talking your own chessboard here. You have moved pieces around and you are now relating to particular people, places, and things differently. They're saying that even though you still continue to deal with, let's say, these people or the people, you can actually decide to contain your energy during those dealings. You can contain it. You're generous with your energy. This is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You're generous with your energy. However, you were, before this realization that I'm sharing now, you were sharing your energy with reckless abandon. That's actually how I want to put it. And so by virtue of you just dealing with someone or a place or whatever it is, you were already sharing your energy. This was an important part of your journey because this is also how you learn how your energy lands on people. Okay? For a time, it was how you learned that it actually happens. Okay? So I know that when you are dealing with someone, you can feel when your energy lands on them. You can see it. You can perceive this. Okay? What they're saying is if you have made a decision mentally that a place, a person, or a thing has maybe behaved like a vampire when it comes to your energy, you can make the decision to withhold it. That's interesting information for me because I've never looked at it like that. Okay, let's shuffle again. What they're sharing with me is that these places, these people, let's just call them people. If you need to apply it to places and things, you will. I just don't want to keep repeating that. They're saying it's important that you also come to clarity with yourself around why you are dealing with these people. It could be out of responsibility. It could be out of allegiance. It could be out of convenience, whatever the reason. It could be a relationship that you can't do anything about. That's how you feel, if you know what I mean. What they're saying is it's important that you know and that you are clear around your purpose for dealing with those people. I want to give you an example. If your purpose for dealing with a person is to play nice and to just be a decent human being and not make things unpleasant for other people, become aware of that. It's important that you're clear that that's your reason. If you're working as part of a team and this team is not doing things the way you'd prefer them done or the way according to your values, if you're dealing with someone where their values don't align with your values, become clear about why you're dealing with that person. You need to deal with that person because it's your responsibility to care for such a thing. You are a custodian of such a thing, or you are a steward of a thing, or you're a team member of something that you care about. These are examples. I feel like I might not actually even draw a card. For some reason, today, as I shuffle, I'm receiving messages. Okay. They're saying spot the difference. Spot the difference between how you've been handling your energy with certain people and what happens when you are more decisive around your purpose for dealing with them. They're saying spot the difference. It's interesting. When you play the game Spot the Difference, it can be hard to spot the difference. But it's not hard for the person who set the game up. It's hard for the person who's been asked to spot the difference. So no one will notice. No one will notice that you took back your energy. And so actually the dealings will remain the same, except certain things are actually going to start moving into yes. You know what they're showing me? They're showing me that there are certain spaces where you're in, okay? Where because you deal with these people, they get so much of your energy, that is how they keep running amok. They literally showed me that. They showed me that now it's going to change because you're going to continue to deal with them, but you're not going to be sharing your energy just freely because, your energy is like an open, it's like a public swimming pool. Everyone can come swim. Everyone is welcome. But actually, you're going to continue, to them it's going to look like everything is carrying on as normal. But you keep more of your energy to use in the places that you want to. You leave dealing with those people less depleted because you're very clear. You're basically creating some form of a container that creates order for when you're dealing with them. And so you don't get drained. And they no longer have the fuel that they've been using either against you or, this is interesting. They run off your energy. And so because it's just all there, it's like, I used a swimming pool. Let's say this cup of water. They've been drinking your free water. They'll get thirsty, tired, and they kind of will lose steam or need to find a different energy source. They're basically using your energy against you, is what I was trying to say. This feels like important information. They said, you're a worrywart. They said, stop spending your energy worrying about other people and their actions. You worry about the repercussions that other people will suffer for their bad behavior. That's also an energy drain, they're saying. And they're saying that it's related to this self-love, okay, and self-sacrifice idea. They're saying that when you love yourself and you're mindful about caring for yourself and you're mindful about the value of the kind of care that you provide, you are then more selective around how you share it. This is so interesting because I feel like you're actually going to feel the difference in your energy going forward. You're going to move differently. Okay, I didn't even finish what I was saying. But you're going to feel this lift because I feel like you have been showing up in your life with way more of a sense of responsibility over your space, right? But with that, you had not yet switched how you deal with your energy in these new spaces that now have new order. And so it's as if they're giving you extra information that's going to be very useful to keep you feeling balanced and keep you thinking straight and balanced, removing a lot of the thoughts, because you've got lots, you're a thinker, okay? And you've got a lot of thoughts that take place in your mind when you're dealing with people. You're going to be removing like 30% of those thoughts because you're basically taking that chunk that's labeled self-inflicted issues. You're chucking that out of your thought processes because you actually have no control over their bad behavior. Let's call it that. You have no control over that behavior. And so you're kind of accepting that and removing it, especially because it's got nothing to do with your purpose for being there. You're not there to stop them from behaving badly. You're not their mother. You're not their father. You're not their teacher. You're not their policeman. And you certainly are not their psych ward nurse. That was rude. Sorry. Not. It is what it is. Please don't take these messages if they don't resonate. They're saying that there is so much love surrounding you and incoming. Okay? And a lot of these changes, they're just showing me like opening the way. These energetic pathways, these channels that allow things into your life. They're showing me space made now. All of these things were all waiting around you. And they're saying you'll see the difference, literally. They're showing me there was no room, doorway space. So many things coming through the door constantly, too busy. Nobody likes to come see, let's say, a doctor whose waiting rooms are always super busy. For example, it's like the doctor that doesn't make you wait forever and keeps time. You'll want to deal with that doctor. This is interesting, isn't it? You know how I'm reading into that message that I just shared? In creating order and structure, you've been bleeding so much of your energy. And so what's happened is that this idea of creating routine seemed undesirable before because there was just too many patients. That's actually how they're communicating it to me. Too many patients in the waiting room to keep time. And so you're going to be inviting way more order into your daily routine and your life because you're not going to be a worrywart anymore for people who behave badly. All of those things. You feel so much more open already. And you're going to feel the difference. And this is not going to be a difficult change to implement. And I'm telling you why now. It's like having something done, like a treatment, where it feels so good afterwards that you're going to go back. It's like that. It's going to be a new behavior that you're going to notice the difference out of. And that difference is going to be like, you can't live life any other way. It's like a new shower gel and it smells so nice and you feel so fresh. Why would you go back to the old one? It's like that. Clarity, space, movement, progress. You know what I heard? I heard insanity. But the thing is, I held back saying insanity because, after all those nice words, insanity. Why? Because you are going to have room to be way more creative, way more free. There's a sense of safety You know how they say to fall in love, you've got to be willing to lose your mind. Something like that. Something like that. You're going to be doing things that you were scared to do before. I don't know what you're going to be doing. You're going to be playing more. You're going to be more fun. These people were draining your energy. These things. No more vampires. Before I actually opened this container and throughout the day, what I kept hearing was self-sacrifice. That whole concept of self-sacrifice has died. It's dead. It's dead. It's like clearer to you now. So it's no longer like a negotiation where you're trying to figure out, is this worth sacrificing myself? Is that as soon as you hear your mind actually just tell you you're self-sacrificing, you're giving love where it's not being reciprocated, you don't have to do this. You're literally settling into that knowledge immediately. I don't have to do that. And so that's the message for today. I feel like we should close it. Or maybe let's just allow for a card. I'll pull a couple. I didn't expect this reading to be like this. I didn't expect it to be so easygoing. I'm watching a young lady cycling through a meadow, looking at the flowers, taking it easy, nowhere in particular to go, like windy, like that. She's having the best time. She's having the best time. Young, wild, and free. That is you. They were stealing your mojo. They were using your own mojo against you, wasting your time, your energy. You sometimes wonder with some people, it's interesting. You wonder whether they're aware of it. I don't think they're aware of it. They're just actually this is going to be one of the most peaceful transitions into peace that you've ever witnessed, is what I'm actually seeing here. It's like because they're not going to know that you just withdrew your energy, because people often are not conscious of this kind of behavior. Because they're not aware that they've been running off your steam and you're still going to be showing up, you're just going to be, you're going to have blocked them from your energy as a source. And you're going to be clearer minded about why you're there. So that also shortens the time and the energy spent on the whatever challenge or process or thing, task, whatever you do. And so there's no like you've changed or anything. There's none of that. There's just a running out of energy to behave that way. You have to understand how much energy you generate. This is important for me to say. All of that energy you generate has been leaving your space. It's been leaving your space and being used for other stuff. Okay? And they're saying, imagine this. Imagine all of that energy now contained. It still needs to be channeled. Don't let it get trapped in your body, because energy needs to move. And so this was also about, like, again, conducting your energy, but also how to stop it from leaving your system in places where you actually have to show up. Imagine all of that energy converted. You're going to be converting all that energy. Okay? Surrender to the divine. Full moon message. I'm going to show it properly on the screen. We're in a full moon now. And this message is actually telling me you feel safe to surrender to the divine. There is a sense of safety that I'm feeling. Especially because this last stretch didn't break you. This is a lot of like new opportunities, new people, new ideas, a whole lot of new stuff. Another thing this card is telling me is, the divine wants for you what you want. And you're going to be able to allow it in now. And so it's important to remember this kind of transition, how it played out, because it can raise a lot of doubts a lot of concerns around why, and, almost like this feeling of feeling forsaken, that kind of thing. And they're saying to remember that when you are going along in a certain way that isn't serving you, okay, you can be almost forced to surrender. You could even get hurt. By that I mean you start to feel the ouches and the dings from not surrendering, because when your heart's desire is that strong, the divine will show up for you. But then if your door is locked and your heart's desire is still that strong, your heart's desire is going to knock that door down, is actually how I want to put it to you. Reunited, and it feels so good. They're saying it's very important to keep the body at ease. This is how to keep your door open, the one that allows all the things that you've been asking for to come in. And it also allows you to, when you're all tensed up, that can mess with your courage. It can really mess with your courage. And so tap into your body and feel how your body's feeling, and work with it and conduct that energy. Work with the energy. Decide where you want that energy to go. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Okay. What I was actually taught is, if you find yourself with a lot of mental energy, okay, let's say, and very difficult working with mental energy when you don't know what to do with it, because it can tend to block you and start to block your solar plexus through like these fears it creates. When you are overthinking something, how something's going to pan out, how you're going to do it, all of those things, really not good for you. Like creatively, it can leave you feeling stagnant. And also, again, the idea of surrender and just letting it all go may not actually feel like it's working. What I was taught was to channel this energy down through your spine, okay, all the way back down, and let it settle in your sacral chakra and your base chakra. I tried this today. I actually tried it as it was being explained to me. And immediately what happens, because, recognizing that it's a lot of mental energy, you'll feel it, and breathe as you do it, but you'll feel it as it's moving through your body, down your spine, and into the areas where you can actually do something with them, into the areas where you need energy, and those are the areas where you can actually convert that energy, create something out of it. And I'm sharing this, I wasn't going to explain it in such detail, but I recognize now that it actually could be very useful. I'm sharing this because I can tell that it's actually shifted how I'm interacting with my work. This process, I feel less bound by what will people think if I say something like that. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's also why I've been able to just speak freely. I'm going to leave this here. It might be too long. I don't know. Thank you so much for joining me for this channeling. It felt different. And it's not because of the camera. I wasn't going to go on camera. And then as I was preparing, I was like, I felt like it. And I'm really glad I did. I've also left a link to my energy forecast that goes up to January. It's interesting listening to it and having moved through this energy, which for me was not the easiest at all. Should you wish to support the channel and can, there are details in the description box below on how, and also a join button for memberships. Sending you all so much love.